it was not working out for them. I think just like the first matchup we saw between Selfless and RunAway, they are a little bit weak on this map for RunAway. This is not a map they're as good as compared to Eichenwald, and just like the other two sets, Immortals has to win the payload. I think if they want to have any chance of winning the series, if they lose the payload, it's going to be so hard for them to win both the control and the assault.
All right, let's keep eyes on this one now. Obviously, I'll take you into the game with Hex, and we'll catch up with Slasher a little bit later on, but it is going to be triple tank for Immortals to start things off here. Probably no big surprise to anyone. Could be agilities on that Roadhog. We saw him be quite impactful previously. That's Haxal getting hooked in, but a good shield delivered immediately from Bubba going to keep him alive.
Yeah, I really like this style from Immortals to just put Grim in a death ball and let him carry you. Of course, agilities is going to be on the tank play, which we've seen his Roadhog be so effective, and already a couple of early kills. It's just really good against the flanking style that RunAways like to run. You can take down Tracer, you can take down Genjis. You've got so many options there, working out really well for him.
And this has gone very well defined in general for Immortals there. If you followed along with Grim Reality, he was hitting almost all of his shots. A very large burst amount of damage actually went on towards RunAway when they were taking the point, and well, now we are on to the second phase of the map for Immortals. Very good start, exactly what they were looking for. Even with this triple tank comp, they're able to make it work fairly comfortably. But there's still much more to be done on this particular map. Aethan does at least have the Nano Boost available soon, and the Grim Reality McCree, while not something we've seen much of tonight in general, seems to be working out just fine, Hex.
I think they're trying to run this D.Va in hopes of shutting down Grim, but if you fly a D.Va into how they're running it, they're going to be in trouble because Hype's going to be able to burn him down, Nomi can swing through, and then Agilities will be able to, and Earthshatter comes down, doesn't get much so far.
No, I mean, Nomi gets the Earthshatter, and Stitch wasn't even desuited for that, so Pepper's not the most valuable use of it, but Haxal was caught by Nomi there with the charge. Now the Graviton Surge coming in, and Bumper has got the Particle Cannon right up in the middle of it, but it's a good, very, very good body grenade used there by Aethan to keep Immortals up and standing, and not just standing, they're running at breakneck speed, straight over towards RunAway. Stitch is caught out, he eventually gets taken down. Not a lost fight for the Immortals thus far.
This has been completely one-sided. Maybe RunAway needs a little bit of warm-up because they had to sit and wait in lobby for as long as they did, but it has been completely Immortals so far.
Graviton Surge comes in. There's also going to be a body grenade. Again, that's perfect stuff. RunAway getting completely dashed aside by Immortals thus far. Haxal now as well, the signature Nano Boost on towards the Genji doesn't actually really seem to be yielding too much. He does have a Dragon Blade, but he opted not to use it, so possibly some miscommunication there. Maybe he didn't want the Nano Boost at that time. Maybe the fight, as far as he was concerned, was already over.
Well, the miscommunication seems to be that they're playing against Immortals and they should try to kill them to slow them from pushing the payload. So far, it's as simple as that. They've been getting rocked every single fight. Maybe this switch from Stitch can do something, but even looking at the composition they're running, not a lot of prime Widow targets unless they're going to try to really get into Grim Reality, but they have been unable to crack this Deathball style that Immortals is running.
Very curious to still see the Widowmaker being run at this stage. Nomi hits an Earthshatter, but doesn't really actually get a follow-up charge. It doesn't matter, it's a triple Deadeye coming out from Grim Reality, or at least 2 kills there on the kill feed. Kaiser gets the charge off the edge, and perhaps not what you're really looking for there. He has to give up his life. It's going to be another 9 or so seconds before he even spawns back in, and Stitch gets wrecked by Reality.
Grim out-sniping the sniper. They're going to boost up Grim, because why not? Electric Cowboy in full effect. 2 headshots. Ping, ping. Gets a third. There goes Cox. It's the Grim show.
He's wrecking them. This is disgusting stuff there as well. He pretty much had the kill on Stitch. Aethan got the finish with the Bionic Grenade, but this has been an absolute ballbuster coming out from the Immortals. Grim Reality absolutely on fire. Really not too bothered by the fact that Haxal, of course, is quite known for being a McCree killer. Stunning opening.
I don't know what to say. Slasher, did we miss something, or is just Grim hard carry? I don't think they changed great to counter it. What would you run here?
I mean, I thought their comp was pretty solid. RunAways like to play the triple tank Genji defense. Maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe it's also because it's less ping dependent for them to do instead of running Stitch on hit scan. Stitch going Widow at the end is something that they have done in their Korean games on OGN for 3rd point on King's Row, so it's not something that they've totally just brought out of nowhere. I mean, the game kind of went like their match versus Selfless, where they just got rain over first point, then they got snowballed through 2nd point, and they weren't even able to hold on 3rd point. I mean, Grim is just really hot right now. As you mentioned earlier, maybe the long wait was a little bit hard for RunAway. Also, Immortals played a pretty tough game towards Selfless, and they're probably pretty warmed up. So I think combination of all those, along with I previously mentioned, I don't think this is really one of RunAway's best maps. I think if this was Eichenwald or Hollywood, they would have a much better chance. And you know,
RunAway
I mean,
picked
they
this
can
map.
come back, but it's going to be pretty hard.
RunAway picked this map, which is odd, because they had first map choice, it was miscommunicated, and Immortals thought they had choice, and they were going to take Eichenwald's, so it's just odd, but this was definitely RunAway's pick.
Yeah, and Hollywood is in the map pool as well for the first round. It's Eichenwald, Kings Row, and Hollywood. So that was, you know, it was always going to be an option for RunAway. So they, for whatever reason, chose to play on Kings Row. And so far, it's not worked out well for them at all tonight. So definitely begs the question why they continue to pick it. Perhaps, I think, different team, different game, different approach. But Immortals, while they're not bringing that same pure aggression as Selfless, are definitely bringing the finishing power that their American comrades did have. Let's see if it's going to be the case, though, here now, as we do see RunAway going on the attacking side. And that's not ideal.
That was a nice hook. Agilities was patient on it, waited for Sitch to get a little too greedy and show his face again. And now they're going to clean up Cox, who's hiding around the corner. Like, this is something that Immortals has added to their game, being more aggressive on the defense. It's something they've only tried to incorporate over the last couple weeks because teams have been doing it to them, and they've learned a little bit from it, and they've gotten better at it.
Yeah, Bumper being fed a lot of energy in that last fight, though. I don't even know if it was necessary for Nomi to really go for that fire strike. He aimed it directly at Bumper. Either way, 80% for him on power. That will have disintegrated somewhat so far, but now the push is going to be on. Look at this, straight into the backside. It's Kaiser, but great body grenade on towards Haxel, and also keeps the backline very healthy. And Grim Reality does what he needs to do. He finds that Genji, now pressuring forward, has space for the Deadeye, and this guy always knows how to hit him with Bumper. He's going to laser him before he gets the chance.
Got hip checked out into that line of sight, but now Hyped is very glowing. He's going to get the boost as well, trying to deal with this Tracer. Just gonna chase her down, chasing down Haxel now. But they've got him pushed out a little bit. Athan's gonna take down Kaiser in the kill feed while Hype continues this chase around. And Cox is not even paying attention. He's gonna get beamed down and charge into the wall.
That was a fantastic charge from Nomi, straight from downtown. He actually used that from the arch. So all the way across the point, he's managed still to catch out Cox, and well, no hope for him. He's going to have to be respawning back in, and the aggression comes in. Kaiser hooked in. Again, more energy given over towards Bumpy here. It's a good way for him to be charging it up by shielding the hook target. But Nomi, Earthshatter, 4-man Earthshatter. Grim Reality and Agilities are there to follow up on the rest of the damage, and the rest, well, it's written in blood. It's written in history, and it is going to be Immortals to hang on for now. There's 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining for RunAway to make something happen here. It's a slept Agilities in the front door, but Nomi's more than happy to protect him. Agilities even wants to reach inside the base of RunAway to pick them out.
Oh, they are going to get a Reinhardt into this mix, and they finally got some ultimates. You should see a Nano Blade coming by, a Graviton. It is time to use them so that if they don't win the fight, they have another chance with ultimates into the fight. But meanwhile, Immortals is setting up their own ults. Here comes a huge grab from Hype.
Yeah, there's not going to be any nano boost used there at all. It was Cox that got hooked in right at the start of the fight. So Haxel was ready to go. He wanted to use his Dragon Blade, but there isn't going to be an opportunity for that one. Nice use of whole hog there from Agilities just to lay down that extra damage. The Graviton was there. And there's still a sound barrier available on the side of Immortals and an Earthshatter around the corner. So, you know, despite all the ultimates are being up for RunAway, Immortals have to know this. They're going to have to play this safer.
It feels like Immortals overcommitted a little bit ultimate-wise there. They could have won that with 1. They ended up using about 4, so they're going to come in. Is RunAway. They do try to get Haxel in here. Haxel has held on to this blade for very long. They wanted to initiate. They got nothing out of that sound barrier.
Haxel wants a 5v5 start of the fight. He has to go for the Dragon Blade now. There's really no choice, and that's why the sound barrier is drawn out. Look at this. Haxel got booped back, prevented him from doing a lot of damage, and now he's just starting to cut through that extra overshield. Graviton Surge in the middle. Nomi's caught up in that one. It's been a 4-for-1 fight so far, and it should be the cleanup here. But again, RunAway are leaving these wins in these first fights way too late in the day. 40 seconds left on the clock is now when they're about halfway on capturing the point. And that's not enough of a buffer to really give them comfort going through the rest of the map. It's a long haul.
Not at all. This reminds me of their first map on Kings Row. Did something very similar. Took them forever to break through, and it's a little bit concerning that they can only win these fights on Kings with an overwhelming ultimate advantage, and that seems to be almost the strategy they're using to play towards that moment. I don't like it.
Yeah, their poke game seems pretty weak. Also, their early initiations seem to get wrecked as well. They always seem to get hooked out of position. Agilities is always there first, and they're not running a Roadhog right now, so obviously they do lack that particular component of pick potential. It's just not been there. And look, an Earthshatter blocked out there by that shield. Ping advantage or not, it's not what you want at all to happen, but Grim Reality's caught out by the Pulse Bomb.
Grim's had a tough time trying to get a Deadeye here on defense. It's been twice now he's popped it and gotten 0 out of it. Stitch is going to be running around. He does get taken out by Hypes, and now they're getting more aggressive. A giant grab comes in, grabs 3 in the back. Where's the cleanup? Hypes' zone follow.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty there. Haxel is, well, in a position to at least pick up Nomi, and any kill from this point on is very, very good for RunAway, given how close they are spawning in. But the aggression still from Immortals, they know they're going to get more than they lose. If they're going to lose 1 player, they're going to kill 2. That's how it needs to work for them here, and it's how it has been working. But for Grim, honestly, as a jaded McCree main, Deadeye is more like press Q to respawn sometimes. It is very hard, especially against a team like this, to get a decent knockoff.
We'll have to have a fight about which one is worse, Fair or McCree there in that regard, because I've always said that about Barrage too. Regardless, they are still making a little bit of progress. Here is RunAway. Haxel has the Dragon Blade ready. Nano Boost is ready for him too. I think he's going to try to maybe flank around to the right. Never mind, he's thinking better of it. They're giving up a lot of free push.
Yeah, here we go. There's got to be the Dragon Blade right about now. Let's see if they can stop Haxel. Well, the Graviton Surge is going to make that awfully difficult to do. Already 2 kills, 2 tanks down. He finds Aethan now. 3 kills for the Dragon Blade. The rest of his team are doing the damage that needs to be done. Hype got a nano boost in that fight, but he's not really going to have a chance to use much of that damage. He's taken down. Another clean fight from RunAway, but it always seems to be off the back of a nano blade and nothing else.
I guess it works if you can get your ults charged up fast enough to get blades whenever you need them. Still gonna be a much slower time than what the Immortals set, if they even finish this out. A little over 2 minutes for them to do so. Hyped has been the pretty strong carry on this team as Zarya, and he's gonna have Graviton Surge up. He's looking for it.
Yeah, and he lays it. Perfect Graviton Surge. There is still a shield in the way, which is a bit of a problem, but that's Nomi with a Fire Strike who gets 3 kills with the 1. There was enough damage there, and Verbo is going to be around to clean up. Now, Haxel's not far away from Nano Blade. I kind of don't like calling timings like that because, you know, sometimes it's not all that impactful, but in this fight, it seems as if Haxel's always been able to get the damage to stick, but RunAway's always been relying on that. So Nomi's hiding around the corner, waiting, gets the Earth Shatter on Cox and Haxel, both knocked down. The 2 biggest components of RunAway winning these fights are out.
No fight even going to be incoming now. That's one way to win a fight with a single ultimate, and they're going to actually stagger out a couple more deaths too. They're right by spawn. Go into spawn. Stop dying. All right, Grim takes down Kaiser. That will be the last kill they have there, but now they're going to have a boost of their own. They've used all of their CC ultimates though, and Kaiser's got one incoming. Still just over a minute left to finish out this map.
Yeah, they've got defensive ultimates. Grim has to hope to make something happen with this Deadeye now. Absolutely nothing. Nobody uses it, but everyone from RunAway had already gotten out of the way. Bumper gets nano boosted, Graviton Surge coming in. Haxel has Dragon Blade, he's going to use it.
Yup.
3 kills with 1 swing of the sword. That is disgusting. And yet again, in traditional form, RunAway win the fight off the back of that one. But they're under a minute left. They've got a huge time bank to go up against. We need to see more from them.
Exactly. It's always just been this boosted blade getting them kills. It's the only 3 fights they've won have come off of that. A really nice bubble is going to keep Haxel alive there as Stitch takes down Agilities. Now some fights coming in from them. Nomi's going to be able to get something going here, but this is now finally they're going to get some kills off of an Earth Shatter. Kaiser's running wild over here. Stitch is able to take down Nomi. So now it is not just the Haxel show. Everyone's showing up here. 20 seconds left. They can't get stopped on this point.
This is much better from RunAway. That's the kind of fight that we're looking for pretty much the entire game. But now we got a Diva and Tracer on the point, stalling this one out a little bit. The Grim was actually looking for the kill on towards Cox there. That's how much they value getting rid of that Ana in this stall situation. Unfortunately, it's a 3v1 fight so far in terms of the kills that have been accrued, and Nomi's desperately trying to keep things, I guess, under wraps. Graviton on the point. Agilities can sneak in here and do a bit of extra damage, but Nomi found Runner. Now the charge on towards Stitch up against the wall. No more whole hog for him. That gets cancelled out, and now we're in overtime. This is very, very good for Immortals.
Well, here comes another blade, not quite nano boosted, but Haxel does eat a pulse bomb during that, so maybe Agilities can bring this back. It does not look like it is. Aethan will fall on the cart. The May comes out a bit too late from Hyped, seconds too late, and they will finish the map, but with 0 time left on the clock.
I'm super unconvinced. Slasher, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one as well, because it's obviously not just about the nano blade from RunAway. We've had some big moments from Cox and also from Kaiser, but this is far too slow.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting off to too slow of a start. Their second point and third point is actually pretty solid, but because they only got the first point at the very end, they didn't leave nearly enough time for them to be able to close the map out. They only close it out with 0 time remaining. That's going to give them 0 time to attack, and 4.5 minutes for Immortals is going to be nearly impossible for them to defend this. Really, all Immortals has to do is get all 6 ults and close it out. Not much for RunAway to do here.
Yeah, it really does seem that way, and they don't even need to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. Hex, I mean, we already saw what impact Grim Reality was able to have when his frontline gave him that space, and it's kind of one of the hallmarks of that triple or even quad tank composition in some cases where, you know, you do create a lot of space, and if you have someone like Grim Reality who will hit shots, if you facilitate that, if you actually give him some freedom, some room to breathe, seems like very, very hard to deal with.
It would be a monumental defense for 4.5 minutes on King's Row first, so Slasher's right. This is when his strategy of just get 6 ults and go into 6 ults. We could not say it better. It's a very easy way to do it. They might not need to, though. They rolled in through first so aggressively the first time. Why not just try it again? Eventually you will get an overwhelming death ball lead, so they're going to rotate through Hotel, try to get some damage going. It's going to be the Grim Show. They do eat a Bionade very early.
It was actually a sick Bionade as well. It was like a 5-man grenade. Really nicely done by Cox. He's very, very good at securing those. But the problem is that the kills are just not going in favor of RunAway. That was Grim Reality found one, Agility's found Stitch. And now the space. Grim Reality has that to work with. He sits in the backline. He just plugs away with the 6-shooter. And he's going to be able to get a lot of damage done. There's Kaiser. That was the headshot to finish off. Another good Bionade puts Agility's very low. But Grim Reality's hardly perturbed. He heard Cox creeping around. He actually finds him now with the flash and kills him. So he's dealing with Runner. On his own, Grim Reality was able to zone out both of the supports there as well. You're never going to win that one. So this is going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. The first map is going to go over towards Immortals. RunAway just far too slow on the attacking side.
I mean, it was a combination of being too slow on the attacking side and then losing first point on defense. I mean, that's what was the catalyst for the snowball for Immortals. I mean, one, Grim Reality is on fire for the first half of that map. He hit, I think, 4 kills on the 3rd point. He kind of helped them roll through 2nd point. And even though they didn't play the same type of hold spawn type of style that Selfless is playing, if Grim Reality is going to hit that many shots and they're going to have such a big ult advantage, there's really not much fun we can do there.
And the play of the game here is just hyped, pushing forward there as well. But yeah, you know, and look, we got to look ahead.
More often, as good as they looked earlier, RunAway in the last map really making me doubt them a little bit. I just don't like that they only won 3 fights and generally just with Nanoblade didn't get a great contribution from everyone else. Maybe it's tired, maybe it's being fatigued. I'm not entirely sure, but you have to win fights that you're not necessarily mathematically supposed to win.
And yeah, how susceptible are a team like RunAway to a Pharah play, Slasher? Because you haven't seen a ton of it tonight.
I would think decently. I don't believe it's going to be coming out here. I would be super surprised if this is what they run. I think it'd be pretty solid. I mean, their RunAway runner actually did a stream in between their matches while they were waiting, and he mentioned that because they have high ping, they just cannot deal with Tracer right now. So if I was Immortals and I saw that interview, because it's already posted on the Reddit, I would take that advice and be playing Tracer because I know that RunAway can't handle it. And in that same vein, I guess Grim Reality is going to be doing that and playing Tracer. I think they're going to have the same problem if they end up playing Pharah because hit scans is going to be hard.
Well, that explains why Sinatra had so much time spent in the backline while still staying alive. So that's something to bear in mind. It does make a difference as ping. Let's see, the dive comes straight in and Bumper just got completely trashed. He got jumped on top of. Nomi gets the finish on in there. Axel, though, gets himself into the backline and manages to take down Nathan. So that's a no healing at all now that Verbo's fallen. So those supports just getting completely cut asunder. And Haxal's going absolutely nuts in the backline, also getting the D-suit. He's literally killing everyone. He's literally killing everyone.
Making it look easy. Kaiser comes in and steals a couple of Haxel's rightfully earned kills, but I guess you have to spread it around a little bit. That's about as good as a first point defense as you can ask for. Both Haxel and Kaiser have done so much damage that they're about to have ultimates ready.
Yeah, getting the damage to the ult percentage on those two is very important in this kind of situation. But again, there's going to be another dive coming forward. Agility's managed to farm up his Dragon Blade in the last fight, and now he's going to use it. Kaiser goes down. Axel, though, might have his own ideas. He has a blade of his own. He takes down Verbo with a Swift Strike first and foremost, and he's locked in a deadly duel of Genjis, which he ultimately loses out to Nomi. But here's a sound barrier from RunAway.
That's sick pack control, though, to steal the big health pack that Haxel desperately needed. Get in there, and then he goes down. So Nomi's going to be up here getting a big pack of his own, but this is an overwhelming fight one for Immortals. You see that Nomi just wants to get back out. He ignored the pack because he wants to help his healers get up there. Aethan is 80%. We have a Pulse Bomb. Nomi's going to have Primal Rage up. They should just go for it right now, because any switches are going to really hurt the other team, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're going to jump in. Runner's just getting back to spawn now, and they're already down with Kaiser. So, you know, with a maximum of 5 men at any one stage for RunAway, that's not good at all. Now, I've seen this before. I've seen a North American team get a sick time on the first half and then sort of squander it. So don't get too ahead of yourselves, but right now, it's looking pretty good. The desperation of May. Haxel gets himself on towards the point there. Earthshatter coming through, though, from Kaiser. Does connect, but Agilities is still on the back line with the Dragon Blade. Kaiser charges away the mech, gets rid of that one. Point still ticking down, but not even 1/3 quite yet. There's hope still for RunAway if they can hold on, and it looks like they're doing it.
Well, as more than hope is they're getting kills from Stitch, and that's all it's going to really require. Then now the cleanup is there onto Agilities. He will go down, and as you mentioned, they were contesting so well that entire time, in large part because of Haxel's switch to May, that they didn't even give up a single tick. That fight might as well not happened.
And May also got, well, Haxel got 80% of a Blizzard coming in here. So, you know, sometimes you would stick on that May for stall and you maybe switch off afterwards. But, I mean, being so close to a Blizzard, which is almost an auto fight win, especially against a composition like this, which is heavily boots on the ground, you probably want to keep it.
The only mistake you can make with Blizzard that I've seen teams make is not use it directly on the point. It will cover the entire point. I've seen teams use it in a corner, try to get cute with it. Not the way to do it, but already going to D-suit hyped. Wall up, keep him safe. Nothing going on there.
Yeah, Runner is felled by Agilities at least, but Nomi was sleeping on the job and Kaiser's just going to wake him up with the hammer. Grim Reality gets 2 quick kills, so when Agilities with the Dragon Blade here, there's no chance for Haxel or Runner to use either of their ultimates. But the stall is real. It's a Primal Rage over on the point for Bumper, and no one can really get close enough to even capture the point or to force him off here, and that's valuable stall time now for the rest of RunAway as they pour back in.
Well, Grim does finally take down Bumper, and now they're getting all the reinforcements from their team back in here. Right now, it is definitely the advantage numbers-wise for Immortals. The Blizzard will come down directly on the point, meaning that they can't get any more progress there. They're still not even at a tick. That stall continues to come out. Soundbearer comes out for the RunAway team, and it doesn't look great. Hype is able to take down Cox. Kaiser misses everything with that Earthshatter.
Yeah, it's interesting there as well. Agility's got a nano boost, but he was only about 50% on his Dragon Blade, so didn't really get too much for that. Maybe the damage reduction was what they wanted, but now the Dragon Blade finally comes in. Grim finds Bumper. Haxel finally falls to Agilities here, and this is looking a little bit better now. Agilities takes to the skies to clean Runner up, and I don't think there'll be any spawn-ins in enough time. Maybe the tracer of Stitch to come in from the side. A desperate jump here from Bumper would be required, but no, it's not going to be enough. 2 points taken, 3 minutes and 41 seconds remain in the round, and it wasn't the cleanest push we've ever seen from the side of Immortals, but they get the job done.
Really nice play from Agilities to be able to clean up everyone who was on the ground, in the sky, everything. Grim was doing enough that they couldn't focus on Agilities and vice versa. Hype came in on the Tracer to add even more DPS and try to finish out that point, and they did finally get it. 3:41 on the clock.
I mean, maybe not as good of an attack as Selfless had in the first match that we saw, but pretty solid coming out from Immortals. I don't think the Haxel's Maid did as much as it wanted to. I don't believe anything got in the Blizzard when he put it down, and he really needed at least 1 or 2 kills from that to happen. Immortals played the ult conservation game very well there, and they were just able to bring it home. I also think the assault changes have been better. I mean, we have not had one assault map be defended for the whole time so far.
It's nice to see. It's a small change, and it took a couple weeks to really notice that the effect was actually coming through, but I like the assault changes, and more changes incoming too, so we'll see how assault changes as we go forward in Overwatch. Do you see anything interesting on the defense we're seeing coming out here, Uber?
Not really. I mean, they're going to go with a pretty similar composition. I don't mind the Agilities on Roadhog pick here. I think that's been quite important from, you know, prematurely gutting the power of an attacking team. I also think it's going to be important. You need to catch Haxel with that kind of thing. If you look at the composition, Stitch also could be problematic, but you're playing a Tracer now, not only on high ping, you're playing it against a Roadhog, you're playing against McCree. So there are a lot of threats. There are a lot of pitfalls and traps for Stitch if he's not careful. And losing that Tracer is really going to hamper RunAway's ability to actually, you know, sow distraction and allow people like Haxel to have space to move. So that's really important. We'll see if they can actually, you know, keep applying that kind of pressure now. The push is going to be on, looking for those first talks to see how they open things up.
Standard setup coming in as Grimm's just going to try to get some plunking away, and he's going to back out from the Winston. They need to punish that dive. They do not. Stitch comes in. Grim Reality finishes him off rather easily. A nice grenade from Cox. I feel like we've said that a lot tonight. And now Kaiser getting so low. Grimm's just doing so much consistent damage back here.
Now, Cox has been hooked twice and actually has managed to survive both times because of Bumper, so he should be pretty well charged up in terms of the damage he's doing, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he's now going to be on his own. They've left the Zarya till last. They avoid the damage, and then they come in and clean him out when there are no teammates to back up. Nomi has to be careful, needs to keep that shield up. Agility's almost been a little bit too low, and Haxel comes in from the backside, manages to finish off Nomi. Opportunism sometimes is key.
Gonna make things a little more difficult to Grim. Now he doesn't gonna have the Reinhardt shield in front of him. Bumper about to have Graviton. Haxel already with Dragon Blade ready. That's a combo that works really well. Get all the damage from those slashes hitting multiple targets. We'll see when they want to use it. Trying to get some free push here. Not quite there. Just not seeing the targets they want yet. Grab does go down.
Yeah, Grim, good job. He hunts down Stitch, but Haxel gets 2 kills with the 1 Swift Strike, and then the Dragon Blade into Grim Reality. He was trying to stay away from the Graviton Surge, but the ultimates, they've come at the right time here for RunAway, and they've used them correctly, and Cox has a lot of room. This is just going to be constant healing coming down. It's almost as deadly as having a Widowmaker peripheral to a fight. You know, when you're safe like that, your efficiency is going to increase drastically. There's no chance for a re-attempt at defending here, so we'll see a relatively large amount of time added back onto the clock for RunAway, and they can attack this second point now. They've got about 2.5 to 3 minutes to work with.
This is time where you just run in right away, you toss on the Pulse Bomb, hopefully you get Athan or even Verbo there, and then start the fight. And then next time you start doing junk rushes and things like that. But you know you just used everything and you didn't see anything out of Immortals. This fight should just be to bait out ultimates and then maybe hope for a miracle. So it's time for Stitch to just go in and maybe try to get a backline. They already do bait out the sound barrier.
Yeah, Self-Destruct going to come in from the backside, and Bumper will be claimed. Unfortunately, Kaiser couldn't shield everyone off from the blast. There's actually a pretty good fight, to be honest with you, for RunAway. One good bio grenade can actually force out a sound barrier on its own, especially if you start posturing aggressively towards them and sort of freaking them out a bit. So Grim gets to clean up on Stitch, and there's still ultimates on the side of Immortals here, but again, that ult being burnt just from one grenade is definitely high value.
A little bit interesting that Stitch held onto that Pulse Bomb, perhaps valuing it more highly than I end up valuing it, but maybe wants to find a combination for it somewhere. They are getting close to their game-winning combo that they've done time and time again. Haxel's gonna have Blade. Cox getting close to having his ultimate as well, so you're right. That last push was really good for RunAway, despite getting 1 kill out of it. They burned ults. That's all you had to do.
Yep, and then it's worthwhile, especially when you've got so much time to work with. Pulse Bomb finally gets loose and it finds Nomi. Agilities, though, has the nano-boosted Whole Hog and a hook on towards Stitch, which should clean him up pretty comfortably. Somehow, some way, Hype has managed to actually jump out of the fight and get into his backline for some healing. Now we can rejoin. And this is a pretty solid cleanup for Immortals. Now, you can draw ultimates out, but if you get hammered in a fight like this, you're giving ultimate percentage back, especially to people like Grim Reality, who now has that Deadeye, and Nomi has his Earth Shatter. So, yeah. If you keep losing fights, Immortals are perpetually going to have 1 or 2 key ultimates, and if they use them efficiently and they drip them slowly, then they can hold this.
I'm not too worried about the Deadeye. What I would be worried about if I were RunAway is the Earth Shatter. You haven't seen one in a bit. You've noticed that all these people are getting hit by hammers, and that can completely shut down a Nano Blade, but they're probably going to wait for Bumper again. They have designs on using 5 ultimates in this next fight.
Oh, Hype doing a really good job harassing actually from the top side of that first little bridge. He drops down, Haxel got hooked in by Agilities and cleaned up pretty comfortably, and this is a full-scale rout now for RunAway, but they won't all be allowed to get away. I don't know about the wisdom of Nomi using his Earth Shatter there just to chase kills instead of, you know, neutralizing and engage, because he could use that later on when those big ultimates come up. Like a Nano-Bladed Haxel getting knocked to the ground by an Earth Shatter is far better used than just trying to chase a few extra kills.
It's the only thing that's beat you. Why don't you keep the thing in your pocket that beats the only thing that beat you? I don't understand that at all. That Earth Shatter was going to be the perfect counterplay to what they have. They're going to try to get in here again. As long as they don't lose anyone before, we're going to see those 5 ultimates come to fruition. They're trying to find the grab. Not the best of one, only gets Athan, but that's a decent target.
Yeah, I mean, the Whole Hog here is pretty good for forcing Haxel back. There have been other threats. Stitch gets the hook on towards Athan, and Nomi falls to Bumper, so Earth Shatter would have been good. I don't really want to point the finger, but again, there were other ultimates available on the side of Immortals to be used there, so that's by the by. Now we're into stall. Grim Reality switching over towards a Tracer here, making his way very quickly over towards the point. We hear the Nano Boost going on towards Nomi. gets him a bit of extra damage, allows him to find Cox in the backline, jumps over that Earth Shatter, was still knocked down, but mid animation still allows him to get out of that fight. But he's cleaned up very, very quickly here, and there it is. RunAway should have this point solidly. Dead to rights, there might be one more bit of stall from Grim, but that'll be it.
Well, Grim does it where Hyped actually gets on the point, and that allows the D.Va to get back on the point, so, or rather the Mei to get back on the point. So the stall continues to come, but they're so close, they can't get off the point, they gotta start getting kills, nothing coming their way so far, as Stitch gets a more cleanup. There is a whole hog all over but the Cryin, and that is RunAway capturing the point, 2:20 left.
Yeah, not super convincing from Immortals from my perspective. There are a couple of ultimates that they could have used. I mean, Grim did manage to buy a little bit of time, but you can see that RunAway is still going. If you give these guys key ultimates, if you give these guys a pick, you know, this is why we're seeing Stitch actually, instead of playing that Tracer constantly, sort of working that Roadhog a little bit. It seems like Immortals are pretty susceptible to that kind of stuff.
I just really don't like that Earth Shatter. It's your trump card, and you blow it trying to chase down kills. And now I know Immortals has been trying to be more aggressive, trying to emulate some of the styles of some of the North American teams that have having great success. But there's being aggressive and camping spawn and giving away the one thing that will destroy the other team's best option to beat you.
Yeah, they had a whole hog for Haxel, but again, it's not as maybe as robust. Haxel was neutralized in that fight, to be fair. The Nanoblade didn't work. There were other problems, Slasher.
I do think it's worth pointing out, though, now that we're going to see RunAway on their second run through, they're putting Stitch on Widow, which is something we've seen in the previous 2 games on Anubis. They do have different attacks for the first run through and the second run through, and if I was Immortals, I would be kind of aware of that. I mean, Stitch went Widow the last time. We didn't think it was going to work, at least I didn't. He ends up getting a kill immediately onto Evil, and then they end up taking the point from there. So I think this is something Immortals definitely has to watch out for, and it proves me wrong again, because I'm dumb, and it's going to go to Tracer.
Oh man, we all fall foul of that curse at some time or another. So, okay, so pick potential not as prevalent. I mean, Stitch can do it, but again, requires a bit more of an investment and a bit more risk-taking on his part. He's going to be waiting off to the side before he has a real opportunity to go in. Kaiser should be the one starting it off, but you can see how low he is already. He's not going to jump in at this stage with so much health being taken off him. Athan's got a safe spot right now, but that bio grenade is going to force back a couple players here on the side of Immortals and give a lot of ground, and Athan's on his own, caught out. If he survives this, I'll be impressed, and no, he falls.
The dive comps worked really well so far. They pressured Grim off that low ledge very early on. He's going to come back now. It does take down Haxel, but after they noticed that Grim was going to hide in the corner and was getting all the support of the D.Va, they just chose to go after Athan instead, because you can't protect them both with the tanks that you have.
Grim Reality, though, put to sleep, is going to be shielded out there, which means he won't actually be woken up until the effect expires, which is like 5.5 seconds, including animation. Nomi gets the charge forward. He is incredibly overextended with that charge. It seems to be him the instigator of this over-aggression, but we'll see if he can get back to the rest of his team. It's Haxel, though. Agilities is down, Hyped and his suit are both down, and oh dear, Immortals may have given up the ghost here by going too far.
That charge, ill-advised, ends up in no man's land out there, and then it forces Hype to go out there and try to protect him with his D.Va. That didn't work out, and then Hype goes down, so now they have no option to try to come and contest this. They will throw a Lucio at it. They're not over yet. Here comes the sound barrier.
They're going to try. It's a 3-man sound barrier. They're the only people that really managed to benefit from it, but Grim Reality was in a good enough position to deal with Runner. Verbo on towards Stitch, and Agilities is just jumping through this fight. He's picked up Kaiser and Haxel, so against the odds, against my expectation, Immortals actually played that quite smart, left a few players back just before the point, and the sound barrier from Verbo was what they needed to keep in that fight. 25 seconds
30
left.
seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds left here. Bumper's going to have his Graviton. That's been one of the better initiations they've had, but Hyped is going to be hiding up top. He's going to try to at least zoning Deadeye or counter Deadeye to that. That's all they have is this Graviton. Perhaps Primal Rage comes up. There's going to be no Blade.
No Blade. That's pretty nasty. Graviton will be pretty important here. I don't know how much Primal Rage is going to react to that, but you can see the poke game is occurring now. But there are big ultimates, and that's a big Earth Shatter. Stitch Bumper, Runner all knocked to the ground. Two charge into the wall. This is perfect. Grim Reality gets the 1 kill with the Deadeye, then finds Runner. He can run wild now as well as he pressures inside the lower building. He's got the Electric Cowboy on. He's looking pretty good, and now we're in overtime, and RunAway may have just run on out of this game at this stage. We're done. They have no more chance to attack. And I have to say, we were critical about some overextensions on the side of Immortals, but I think they played this hold really well. They played situations where teams like Selfless would have definitely extended too far and got taken down, but still managed to recover.
I think Immortals is going to be very dangerous when they figure out the right mix of aggression for them, because they, like I said, this is something new they're adding to their game. They used to be very standard, very vanilla, not aggressive on their defense nearly at all, a more reactionary team. However, in the last several weeks, they have toyed around with this, notably on Gibraltar defense. They will hold very far forward, and now their chases have become much stronger. They're adding an element of aggression to their style that other teams are not prepared for, and I think once they find that perfect blend between old Immortals and new Immortals, they can be a very dangerous team.
And you've got to give it up to Nomi there. Huge Earth Shatter at the end. Bumper had Graviton. And if he gets Graviton off as the most impactful ult in all of Overwatch, they maybe win that fight more likely than not, and maybe they get in the second point. Instead, Nomi hits 2 or 3, they kill Bumper right away, and they secure the point on defense, and now 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go just to get the first point. It's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, I think you're feeling pretty good right now for Immortals. We'll see how they come out of the gates. Looks like Grim Reality not on the McCree, but on the Tracer here, so... Combined with the agilities on the Genji, which is we're generally pretty used to seeing, going to be double tank. It's just the D.Va and this Winston. So Stitch has gone over towards a Soldier 76. He's got pretty comfortable and safe positioning here. So he's going to be a factor that needs to be dealt with.
Very dive composition coming in here, and I like the Tracer pick. It's much easier to work than a McCree on this offense. He's already in there. He's rolling in there with D.Va, trying to get some damage done. Hyped is able to keep him alive for the most part. Does get D-mech, but Stitch already down. Agilities goes off, takes down Hoxel. There goes Runner.
Okay, he's going ham. It's the resets coming in here as well. He's going to have himself a 4th kill in just a moment. He's just pushing back against Cox inside. There's no way he's going to escape here, and this is beautiful stuff. Immortals have secured the victory here, and they've secured themselves a far better placing in this group going into the next part of the tournament. It should be RunAway going down to the lower bracket, but the Immortals have secured themselves a spot up the top, and they'll be feeling pretty good.
Their recipe for success is when agilities goes off. I know it seems simple, but it makes everyone else's job easier, and you can't focus Grim. And when you can't focus Grim is when he's at his most dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, that sums it up pretty well. I think overall, a lot of teams are having trouble defending on first point defense for all the assault maps today. We've seen the first or second pushes work for a majority offensive team. And that's not just for RunAway, that's pretty much for everyone.